Hello! Welcome to This Matters to Me Live, our first show. Super excited, and already I can tell I probably need to wear my glasses because the camera is blurry. Am I looking at the camera, Chris?
Yes,
okay.
You are.
Our first show, This Matters to Me Live. I'm Stephanie Erickson. I'll be your host, and I'm here with my co-producer, Chris.
Hello.
There is his hand, and you'll meet him later. We've got some nice friends who've come out to support our first show, and we also have with us Kevin Jenny over here, who will be putting together live painting, or painting live during the show. So we'll check in with you after, Kevin, to hear about your process and what it is you're doing.
Should we actually show that there is other people here?
Okay, we do. It's true. We have a big audience. Yay! Some die-hard Montrealers who love the community just as much as we do, which is why they're here, because they want to make sure that the show is successful because they love the community. So our first show, we're just going to be talking to you about us, myself, Chris, mostly myself, because, you know, I like to talk about myself. We will introduce Chris.
Yes, she does.
See, there we go. And we're going to talk about the space, and Marina, who owns the space. We'll check in with Kevin. We'll check in with our live audience. Thank you so much for coming. So first, again, I'm Stephanie Erickson. Tell you a bit about myself. Number one, I'm an independent woman. Number two, I'm a mother, and I'm saying that on purpose so we don't forget that we're ourselves first before we're mothers. I have a daughter who's 12. Her name is Charlotte, and a son named Maxim who's 9. I'm married. My husband's name is Philippe, and last weekend we got a new little member of the family, Jagger, our little puppy. He's so cute. He's 9 weeks old. I'm originally from California, so you're wondering, why am I living here in Montreal in this weather? And today is a perfect day to show Montreal, because it's not good weather, which is mostly what we have is not good weather. I met my husband at Club Med in 2001. He's Francophone, started speaking to me in French. Rest is history. 2003, moved to Montreal, and here I am. And I actually really love the city in terms of my work. I'm a social worker. That's my profession, has been my profession for a long time. But over the last few years, I've decided I wanted to get into hosting. I do have a weekly radio show on CJAD 800, a live radio show called Life Unrehearsed with Matt Del Vecchio. That's on Sundays. But I really want to get into TV media, but not TV, new type of TV, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, because in my opinion and Chris's, this is where we're headed. Now, why do I want to be a host? Okay, everybody don't laugh at me or make fun of me.
You can laugh.
Who follows Dancing with the Stars? Does anybody here watch it?
We were just watching it last night.
Okay. Absolutely love Dancing with the Stars. Have wanted to be a celebrity on that show because I can't dance. I'll never be a professional. But have wanted to be like a celebrity. But they're really not like celebrities. They're almost celebrities, or they already were a celebrity. So what's the best way to do it? Become a host of a Facebook channel. Have a lot of people watch it. So for the casting directors, Dancing with the Stars, maybe season, I don't know, maybe 2018. This year I've missed. 2018, 2019, I'm on, mark my words. You guys are all here. I'm on Dancing with the Stars. So why are we doing This Matters to Me Live? Last year, as I said, I'm a social worker, and last year I did a TEDx talk, and I wanted to talk to people about the language that we use to describe aging, because my profession and my passion in my work life is dementia. But as part of that TEDx talk, I was talking about myself. I was kind of illustrating the language we use and how it impacts the way we think of ourselves, the way we think of the world, the way we think of others. So I shared my own personal story of my own anxiety that I live with day in and day out, and how once I started to change my language, my life got a lot better and I started to function better. What I found was that people were interested in the aging piece, but what really connected to them was that I was sharing with people and telling the world that I am anxious. Every day I walk around pretty nervous about a lot of stuff, but that's the piece that really connected with people, was that I was opening up. So I started to think about creating a platform for everyday people like myself, real people, where they can share their stories, share their truths, be honest, be vulnerable, and hopefully inspire and help other people. So I can't do it on my own, so I went looking for someone to help me out, and a colleague introduced me to now my very good friend and partner, Chris Wynn, and he got on board. And Chris, I'm going to take the camera, or you want Rashid to take the camera?
Just hold it.
We also have someone helping us out. Chris, talk about yourself.
So Steph is paying me to do this. I'm just kidding.
With what money?
Yeah.
With my friendship.
Yes, friendship. No, we met a year ago, and Steph and I hit it off really well. We started making videos together, all kinds of different videos, and then we have a production company called This Matters to Me Media. And I have a background in video, making videos for about 10, 15 years. Just finished my second feature documentary, which will be on TV Ontario in about 2 weeks, both about Alzheimer's disease. My first one was about my father, called Forgetful Not Forgotten. This one's called Much Too Young, about young caregivers. But I just like telling stories. So what we're trying to do is find people, not just in NDG in the community, but all over Montreal that inspire others and tell their stories. I'm mainly going to be behind the camera, but you will hear my voice once in a while.
He bosses me around a lot.
I direct Steph what to do, so that's that.
And the other piece, wait, Chris, stay. The other thing, too, as why we wanted to do this is in the world of video making and editing, you can make anything be what you want it to be, and we wanted a show live where you see what's real as it's happening. So this is our first time.
Yeah.
We have some new equipment that we did test last week, but may or may not work. We're trying to figure this out as we go along, but that's part of what we're trying to do is just create an environment for everybody to be authentic and show it how it really is. Let's check in with Kevin.
Yeah.
Come here. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Okay, I could not do that in like, I don't know, an hour and a half? That's super cool. Okay, so this is Kevin Jenny. You want me to stand on the other side of him, Chris?
No, you're
Just
good,
come
you're
in?
good.
Okay.
Just a little closer. There you go.
Let me straddle the, I don't know what this is called. What is this called?
That's an easel. Yeah,
Easel.
it's
Oh, just an
actually
easel.
outdoor.
I'm finding like some complicated name. It's
No,
an
but
easel.
it's made for being outside.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
sort of got a different makeup.
Okay, so this is Kevin Jenny. As we go through the show, I'll ask you more and more about yourself. But first, just tell me what it is that you're starting to create here. And you're starting with a black
I start with a black background and I draw with Naples yellow. I have a technique that I've developed over the last 20 years. It's called eclipsing. And I do have a painting in reverse. So most people paint on a white canvas and they add the darks and then bring in the lights, and I do it opposite. So I get a really interesting technique. It looks like a stained glass window when it's finished. And and this particular painting is, it's this painting right here. I just sold it recently. It's called NDG Alley, which I thought was apropos for today, you know, because we're in NDG. And so that's what I do.
That's nice. So you start, just explain that to me again. You start from the darkness and move into the light. So you're starting from the background and then moving to the close-up? Or it's the reverse? You're starting in the close-up and moving back?
Mostly what I do is the black background, I find a white canvas very intimidating. I find sometimes when you paint, it's sort of, but when you paint it black, it all of a sudden, it's a much easier process. So, and when I paint with a Naples yellow, then I fill in the foreground, and then the background I do after. So it creates this really interesting effect, and everything's outlined with the black. So yeah, it creates this unique style, which I've been using for the last 20 years.
And it's called eclipsing.
Eclipsing, yeah.
So cool.
It's actually, this actually came by, my mother is an artist, and she had a commission when I was a little kid, about 10 years old, to do a tapestry for the local church, and it was the 70s, so it's, we had black velvet, and she cut out in the velvet doves and hearts and peace signs and posted it onto the black velvet, which was a very 70s thing to do. And it kind of came from that. So that's the childhood memory. And my mom's an artist, and she taught me a lot when I was growing up.
How nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well good, we'll check back in after. I want to show you the space here, Chris. Let's walk around. So this is artist. We're going to have Marina come over. So this is Marina Cutler, and this is her space. Sorry, it's called Gallery MV. Marina is our major sponsor. Thank you so much for giving us your space. I really appreciate it. It's a little fireball. So Marina, talk to me first about, before we talk about your actual space, talk to me about art and why you love art and how you got into this.
Wow, I just love art. I've been in the art business for 20 some odd years, maybe 22 years, and I got into it because my husband, Adam, is in real estate, and we had a property on the Lachine Canal, and we were collecting our rents. And all the tenants, for the most part, were artists. So I'd go inside and I'd open the door and I'd see the artists, and I was mesmerized by this amazing, and Kevin, you'll know what I'm talking about, yeah. All these artists who paint incredible pieces, and they're just sort of piled up in the room, and that's in their studio. But they don't have places to showcase them a lot of the time. It's hard to get into a gallery, and they didn't have a place, and they didn't know what to do with it. They painted because they were passionate. So it was our building, I had a space, and I said, let's pop up a gallery and let's get those artists to come in. So I started my first gallery by chance, by accident.
And it's really nice too, because I guess it's kind of like your event, which we'll talk about in a second, but it's people who were unknown, who didn't have a voice, who didn't have a way to showcase, they didn't have the money or the representation or the connections, whatever you need to make it as an artist, and so you were really helping them out.
I always tend to be that person, you know. I'm a problem solver, and that seems
which
like
is why we have the space. We don't really have a show
exactly.
yet. So like, let me help
you don't have a show? Well, I got a space. Let's put it here.
Yeah,
and that's sort of the way I've always been, and that's my creative spirit, is being able to interact and partner people together. And this was one of the ways, and just didn't have a gallery, so we created a gallery, and you're right, this is what we're doing here today. Yay!
Amazing, amazing. So let's talk about the Brush Off. So the Brush Off is an event that Marina is hosting. It's next week on the 14th.
In Westmount Square.
Westmount Square. Let's talk about it. Tell me what the Brush Off is.
Okay, so the Brush Off I started because my mom had Alzheimer's, so connected to Chris through Alzheimer's. This whole thing really all connected through mental health and things that have impacted us on our family, or impacted us through our family. And my mom had Alzheimer's, and I created an event that we did in Ottawa in 2009. And that event was the Champagne Memory Gala. We raised money and we created an art project. We raised funds for art projects by hosting this big gala for Alzheimer's Society of Canada. We came back, it was a great success, we had wonderful people involved, and we came back from there. Out of my gallery I started sort of just a small version of a painting competition called the Brush Off. Artists get to submit their work, and from coast to coast, we judge them a la voice style of judging.
Yeah. That's what I find really interesting, is that nobody knows anything about who the artists are. So it's nice because there can be no bias at all.
Well, what happens also, it's very popular in the art world, is that somebody who is an art critic, those things really matter to them, right? The things like whether an artist has been in a gallery in the past.
But why? Why
because
is that? It shouldn't be that.
It shouldn't be. I started a business in the world of art because I had a passion for it. And I'm one of those people who completely disagrees with that style of viewing art and feeling about art. But it is what it is. I mean, that's just the stature of it. Partially because we have museums, and museums are very important. And so we put, artists up on that pedestal, which is wonderful. But it's hard to not have that in a gallery. But
you know what? I really think that this is going to change, because it's the same thing with any kind of a musician or anybody like that. There used to be no platform. Unless you had a connection, you knew somebody, you weren't going to get known. Well, welcome to the age of YouTube. That's it.
So now
anyone
you can find
their
art everywhere, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
And there's also artists galleries. Lots of galleries that are opening up in the last, so since I started, when I opened, there weren't any, so I sort of filled a void. Now there's little things popping up like this one everywhere, which is wonderful. But so the judges look at the work without knowing who they are or any of their background, and it's quite exciting. They're just picking the artwork based on what inspires them by looking at it.
That's amazing. And so then the money raised, so you have the event on the 14th, people, the artists, the finalists go there, people buy the artwork, and that money is then given to...
So half of it goes to the artist, because again, that's a big passion that I have, so we're giving that to the artist, and then the other half goes to the Vigie Reine Elizabeth in this case, but we're going to grow it from this point forth and be able to put it in different locations, and that is to buy art-based projects for people that are living with Alzheimer's. So we'll help create the projects, buy supplies. There's a variety of needs.
Yeah.
So all the money will go towards that. So we're helping build a project that is art-based, and we're helping artists who create those pieces.
So let's go check in. Oh my God, he's so good. So Kevin, describe to me what it is you're doing.
Yeah, I get kind of mesmerized by the color, and what I'm doing, I'm laying down certain colors around the trees. I'm working on the fence. I love the way the light is. Obviously, this is a spring scene, and we're almost going into fall, which is kind of funny, because I would run through NDG often, through the different alleyways, and every so often I would find like something that would totally mesmerize me. So I would take a picture. And
so is that normally how it works for you? Is that you're inspired by what you see around you?
With landscapes, yes. I'm known for more large architectural paintings and a lot of like festive scenes, like people playing jazz music. But I've recently switched to landscapes. And how this happened is I love running, so I would do these nature runs throughout the city, and I would just every so often stop when I saw something just that blew my mind, and I think it's just the heightened sense of the runner high. So I would then translate that to the creative high, going into taking that photo and right away laying and I paint very quickly these landscapes, so that's why I've been able to accomplish so much with this painting already, and it'll be ready by today. Yeah, it'll be finished. Yeah, so it's just it's capturing that moment of when I was running and when I saw something that just totally blew me away.
Love it, love it. Okay, we'll
you.
keep going. We'll check back in. We're going to go next door right now to see Maggie. She owns Mouton Vert, which is a restaurant right next door. It's vegan and vegetarian food, and she's one of our sponsors. Let's go next door and check it out. Why vegan, vegetarian? Why have you chosen that? Why is that important to you?
Because, well, there's so many reasons. That's a loaded question.
Okay,
Number one, no blood. No blood, no death. Peace. It starts there. What you put into you is basically the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of healthy living all around. I would say the majority of our clientele are looking for a healthier way of eating.
So they're
a tastier way of eating their vegetables.
Okay.
So we're basically doing what our ancestors have been doing for hundreds of years. There's a little urban spin to it, but it's Greek country cooking, peasant food.
Let's just check in with who's here. You want to check in with who's here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
MTL Promos basically is a media that I've created to promote Montreal's culture. It's all about promoting the lifestyle, what's happening in Montreal, the community. I've been doing that for 2 years now, and it's been doing super well. Now I have a team of bloggers, we go to events, and my goal really is to put Montreal on the map and become more like a go-to guide when people come to Montreal and they want to know what to do.
excellent.
My name is Shauna Mackenzie. I'm known on social media as NDG Girl. So I live right here locally in NDG. I'm in direct sales, but I'm also very big into empowering other people and definitely giving back to society. Brought my little girl with me so she can experience all this and, get to know more individuals, especially the community. And I'm excited to be a part of your first show. I look forward to being parts, hopefully, of other shows. Absolutely. And definitely just embracing it and seeing where it goes, because you know what? It starts with one, and that's all it takes. You know what I mean? A little bit of love, a little bit of TLC. We can make this really big. So let's go for it.
Wow. Wow. It's crazy. You're like, oh yeah, I can put something together in 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, sure.
It's not the first time I've done fast speed painting.
And you mentioned that your mother was an artist. So what was it like for you as a little boy watching your mother create? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. My mom actually did pen and ink drawings, and she was super hyper realist with detail, incredible. And what's funny is, I grew up in the Eastern Townships, so the biggest thing was to go to Brome Fair, and so my mom would enter her sketches into Brome Fair, and she would always win first prize. So I'm this little kid looking at from the first prize ribbon, and I was like, I want that. So obviously I couldn't stay in the Eastern Townships and just exhibit at the local fair. So I wanted to come to Montreal, and I fell in love with the city. And then it was just an adventure from then on. That's how I met Marina and many other galleries and having shows. And then eventually I went and met a gallery from Toronto that took my art all through the United States.
Oh, and talk about you're doing an exposition at the Chateau.
Yeah, for sure. I'm having an exhibition on the 24th of September, so it's coming up very quick. And it's at the Chateau Montebello. And I love that location, so I approached them, and they were open for me to have an exhibit there. And I just thought it would be a nice connection. The art would look good in that beautiful, beautiful location. It's like a huge log cabin. And so I'm organizing it myself. Yeah, so everyone, come. I'm having a vernissage on the 24th at 2 o'clock. It's a Sunday. It's a beautiful excuse to go into the country and have an amazing brunch at the hotel. And it's a really, really, it's going to be the beginning of fall, so it's a nice excuse to get out into the country. So that's it. Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the first 5 minutes before we lost our Wi-Fi. We're going to work on that. It will actually be a live show next time. We really appreciate you watching and your support. This Matters to Me Live. Thank you so much to our live audience. Thank you again to Marina Cutler.
Thank you for coming to our home.
Gallery MV, really appreciate it. Kevin, Jenny for the beautiful painting and being a part of this. This is supposed to be an interactive show, so as we continue to grow and get the following, make sure that you connect with us on Twitter. You can email us any ideas you have at thismatterstome@gmail.com. We want to hear from you about what you want to see. Someone in the community who you know is making a difference, tell us about him or her. We'd love to have them on the show, and you can always come and be a part of the live audience. Next show will be September 20th, 1 p.m. right here, 6000 Sherbrooke West at Gallery MV. Thank you very much. This Matters to Me Live. Woo! Oh, yes.
Sponsors are welcome.
Yeah, yay, thank you.